Right now, when you walk into a Burlington, you're walking into deals on top of deals during our Oh Wow Winter Clearance event. That's main character energy. Wow. Find tons of markdowns up to 70% off other retailers' prices on clearance items. Because at Burlington, the deals aren't the only thing turning heads. Save at our Oh Wow Winter Clearance event now. Seriously, with these savings, why shop anywhere else?
Burlington Deals Brands Wow.
Styles and selection vary by location.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Petties Awards show.
It feels good to still be celebrating.
Still celebrating in the year of 2026. Things are going okay-ish so far.
I mean,
I'm just fucking with you,
we
of course.
did kind of invade a country, but I will say that today I am experiencing my Sunday scaries. I haven't been in the office for a couple weeks, and we are counting down my last day of freedom.
Everyone check on Trevin.
Yes, check on me, please.
Oh my God. Well, before we get into the rest of our petty topics and categories, Trevin.
Yeah.
Besides going back to work, what is your dreadful dilemma this week?
Gosh, I could let that be one, huh? I had something happen to me over this break. I took some time to work on some different art other than the show. I think I kind of alluded to the situation a little bit in our first part where I talked about being burnt out. Leading up to our Christmas episode, I don't know what happened. I woke up on Christmas Eve and my brain just didn't want to work.
Happens to us all.
Yeah. I told myself, oh, it's okay if you don't get the episode out right away, like at midnight of Wednesday, but early that morning would be good. And it took me till 6 p.m. to get it out just because I couldn't do like the most minor things. It was a bad mental day.
Yeah.
While I was trying to get the episode together, my brain was pretty much just like spare moment, get to the computer, get it done, because there were so many different holiday things or things where you'd have to like pause and step away and come back.
Yeah.
I have one of those wrist cushions.
Oh, yeah.
For your mouse and for your keyboard.
I need to get one of those, but then again, I don't like sit at a desk, so maybe not, but I get that.
So I use a trackpad or an Apple Magic Trackpad. I learned how to edit audio on a MacBook as a kid. I'm used to scrolling around with the 2 fingers instead of using a mouse most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I got my own computer set up at home, I thought, actually, I want to continue doing it like that. These Magic Trackpads are just larger, and so I don't use a regular mouse. At work, somebody was throwing out one of those wrist cushions for the keyboard. That was one of those gel see-through ones. You can see it from here.
Yeah.
And I got it over a year ago. And then later, somebody threw out the matching one for the wrist.
Oh.
So for the last probably 6 months or so, I've been rocking a matching set of wrist cushion for keyboard, wrist cushion for my mouse. Except during this time, the one for my wrist started leaking. And I didn't know they could leak.
I didn't know that either. I thought they just looked like they could leak.
I guess they're different. See, and I will say one thing about this one. It felt a little different compared to other gel ones.
Okay.
And I will let you touch it because I still have it. So the one for my keyboard is a lot more solid. The other one, it almost had sort of like a little bit of a give to it where I was like...
It's like a waterbed for your wrist.
Yeah, it's what it kind of felt like. So it started leaking on me as I was cramming to get this episode done. And I didn't think it could leak. I thought it was like a solid, like a bouncy ball. I thought you'd chip a piece of it off. It's like not solid. It's not liquid. It's like sticky tack, but like with a little bit of weight on it, it can ooze.
Barf.
But it's also kind of the stickiest material I've ever dealt with.
Oh my God, this is a safety hazard.
So as I'm trying to get the episode done, I'm realizing that my trackpad is like sticking to my desk.
Oh my God.
And then I tried to move it and it stuck to the desk.
Oh.
I took a napkin and tried to wipe it away. Like the second I wiped, the top layer of the napkin stuck to it and the rest of the napkin kept going.
Absolutely not.
And of course, my ADHD brain is just like, I cannot stop the task I'm working on.
Yeah.
So I plugged the hole with napkin and kept working. And I had been working for a couple of days. Emily came down and was working out. And it's like a secret. Like nobody knows I'm being a weirdo about this and I'm just lazy. We're working out. Emily comes over and goes, "Ooh, what's on your desk?" I said, oh yeah, this thing's leaking. And she said, you haven't cleaned it? And I'm like, I'm still in show mode. I have to get this episode done. I finally cleaned it today.
Okay.
I went through 4 Clorox wipes, a paper towel with Dove dish soap, because that's what it took, was dish soap to get it off my hands.
Oh my God.
And also a magic eraser to come in and
I was
finish
wondering,
the job.
magic erasers are lifesavers.
I saved it for you to show it to you so you can see this. And if you want to open its crack and touch some of its stuff, you go for it. So I'm going to get it for you.
Okay. I'm so scared, but I will touch it. What the fuck?
It doesn't look like it's liquid. The rubber just kind of gave a little bit there where like the most of the weight pressure is. It just sort of oozed slowly out. But as you can see, it doesn't ooze easily.
It doesn't. It's thick. It's not like flooding out of it.
Mm-mm.
Ew.
But when it comes out, it sticks. And it's like a sticky, tacky shit.
It's going to be stuck to this bag forever.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm throwing it away.
Okay.
I just wanted to show it to you first.
It reminds me on Scary Movie 3 when she's like, Cindy, your TV's leaking.
Maybe it showed signs of leakage 6 months ago, and that's why they put it in the free pile. And that's why I stole it.
Leakage. Oh.
I decided to do a full cleanup of the whole thing.
Nicely done. Wow.
But I had to share that with you.
That is bizarre, you guys. I really thought all of those jelly little pad things, I did not think real liquid was in there.
Hardly liquid. And if you feel the one on the keyboard, I don't know if it's the same brand. It might be made of something different. This may have been an off-brand one. I don't know.
Oh my God, you learn something new every day. I also have a sticky situation. That is my dreadful dilemma. It's a little grosser than yours, though. And I do have photo evidence of it.
Gosh, your last dilemma was puking and stuff.
I know. I'm just...
You're having a nasty 2026.
It is getting so nasty over here.
Nasty woman.
This actually occurred, I think, as our illness was just starting to hit the house. So, shitty timing.
Yeah.
Figuratively, literally. So, to my horror, yet to my comedic relief at the same time, I stumbled upon a very disturbing situation inside my kids' playroom. And I think I'm just going to let the picture do the talking.
Was that a doo-doo?
That is a straight up huge turd
On a whale?
placed directly on my children's narwhal stuffed animal.
Oh, we were talking about narwhals once this year. Callback.
Right on top. Like my dog, I know it was Yoshi. She's the only animal that
She's anti-narwhal?
she's anti-narwhal. She's anti-peeing and shitting outside when it's cold. Like, she's very much that way. But she took a dump directly on their stuffed animal. Who does that?
It makes you wonder, did they aim for it?
I think she did. I think she was like, and like squatted over it. I don't know.
I mean, she's a big fluffy girl, though. You have to really look back or just know your anus.
She really knows her anus inside and out.
She probably does, though. She's a dog.
I couldn't believe it. We got the whole family in there. I was like, you guys gotta see this shit.
Literally.
The girls were so sad. They were like, the narwhal. I'm like, the narwhal will live. We will clean it.
Oh,
like,
you clean it?
Yeah, I mean...
You know, it's funny, and this is maybe because you're the more money-conscious one of your relationship, as I am. But my wife, if something like that happens, she's like, I'm just throwing it away.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I'll just buy another.
We debated it, and I was like, no, I think our friend Macy got them that toy. And I was like, no. We did put it outside in the rain. It was like raining or sleeting or something. I was like, okay, this can be its pre-wash. I'll scrub it, and then I'll put it in the washing machine, like whatever. But can you even believe that? Directly on top. Come on.
I'm experiencing a little bit of that with Sammy. I think both of them could kind of be that way, but Sammy mainly. I call her a WWD, or what I call my wet weather diva.
Oh, wet weather diva.
So whether it's raining, a little sleet, some snow, it's just like, I'll hold it while we're outside because that carpet be calm. Because she's a wet weather diva.
That is such the perfect title. Yoshi's in that category too.
That reminded me of Sammy, so I think, Yoshi is a wet weather diva. Naughty.
Wow. Naughty. Yeah, naughty. You're in the fucking naughty list. I know Christmas is over. So both dreadful.
Very much so.
Should we continue on with our Petty Awards show, Trevin?
Yeah, I mean, not just to hear who's a winner, but I forgot what the categories are.
I know. And this first one is like the most perfect one to start back up with. Now, this was difficult for me to narrow down, but I eventually did it. And this category is 2025's What the Fuck Crime. WTF Crime.
Oh, is Weird Joanna going to be on this one?
I mean, she should have, honestly.
No listeners tried to write that in? I don't know. Maybe there's more weird stuff. The year's a blur to me.
I think these were less like weird as in like bizarre and gross and more just like people actually did this shit? Kind of what the fuck is what I was going for. And there is a definite, this is probably the most clear win I've seen so far. So, nominee number 1, Caleb Elbers steals Disney on Ice princess wigs from Oklahoma from episode 201, The Magical World of Divorce. Nominee number 2, Elijah Mills steals a... Wait, stolen car?
I remember the name already.
Okay. Elijah Mills, stolen Uber car driver. Wait, no, stolen car.
He stole a car, turned it into his
Yes.
Uber, and then drove with a suspended license with the stolen car while keeping it running the entire time.
3 weeks, yes.
Yes, to bypass the rental car's theft unstarting device.
Absolutely. I'm so sorry I butchered it. I said Elijah Mills, stolen car Uber driver, keeps car running for 3 weeks. That was a word salad. But
I remember the headlines were strange with trying to get all of it in there so people got the context. Yeah.
It's from episode 206, Wheels of Injustice. Another great title. And then this is another one of yours. The final nominee are Neighbors, Shehan Rochester, and Wendy Washik brawl over water gun squirting from episode 209, Beat the Heat, Catch a Case.
I think that's the winner, just because that one actually had a lot of background information too, and it went for so long.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that the main character wasn't even the good guy so much.
Well, Trevin, with 75% of the votes is Elijah Mills and the stolen Uber car. To keep a car running for 3 weeks, that really is the biggest what the fuck I've ever heard.
And again, I guess I wasn't really thinking about it in a logical sense because we even said, like, you're probably losing more money. It's a very stressful life to lead.
Yes. He's just asking for a heart attack.
And that was a Florida story, I believe, because, he was a Florida dude. Because even in the true story, it was out-of-town people from England that had came to Florida to get married. And I made all the jokes about them being there to see a Florida man.
Oh my God. Yep. Did you tell this during Florida February then?
I believe I did.
Okay. Wow. Well, that is definitely a very memorable one. It's just something so bizarre that, I don't know. I just can't believe the length that this man went to be an Uber driver. Like,
for real.
What the fuck? So, are we on to our next category?
Yeah, let's do that.
Now, this next one, we did, I think, a similar category last Petty Award show. So there is a repeat nominee on here. But the next category is for Best Character.
Ooh.
There were quite a few good ones. One of them is actually a real person who, as you pointed out to me earlier, DM'd us and I never wrote him back.
Yeah, here we are. Like, we never get our criminals to reach out or anything. And
I know, and I'm over here ignoring him. I'm so sorry. To our first nominee, Sandy Snakenberg, a.k.a. the Bubble Pirate from episode 197, Dude, Pirate Vibes.
I loved when you said that. I think even when we were just recording it and you had said, dude, pirate vibes, just the way you had said it, I was like, I think that's just probably going to be the title.
That's the title. It fits beautifully. Our second nomination is Chuck Entertainment Cheese from episode 215, My Conscience Made Me Do It.
Yeah.
I cannot. That might be foreshadowing for something you're about to hear again later in this episode.
Uh-oh.
And then our final nominee and our repeat nominee and the winner, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, was 75% of the votes again. One Nut Tony.
Dang, what did One Nut Tony do this year?
You know, I didn't go into that. There wasn't really like an easy way for me to skim through all the stories and find out, but I know we've talked about him. I know we have. Like,
yeah, just a big favorite.
just a classic one favorite. And I know we just said this last week. I want to do more naked crimes this year, and I gotta bring back One Nut Tony again.
You know what we should do? Going forward, maybe because One Nut's such a favorite, maybe we call it like the One Nut Tony Award. And then we call the best character of that year.
Okay.
Because he's already like the man, you know?
He is the man. No one can beat his one nutness.
No, but you're right. He does need to show up a little more.
We need to put him back in here because the people love him. The people have voted. And One Nut Tony is taking home the prize yet again.
He's not only taking it home, but now we're naming it after him. So
I know.
can you think of a greater honor?
No.
Don't let it go all your one nut.
Do we remember how he even started?
I believe we talked about it on our actual first Petties episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he was one of the people who, in the story of the people who broke in to steal from the Mexican restaurant, but then the people turned it into a commercial.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, oh, if you guys really wanted your tacos, like no tacos in here or whatever. I think one of the unnamed suspects was One Nut originally.
One Nut
And then
Tony.
he just kind of became kind of like Marty. It's just one nut can pop up anywhere.
Absolutely. I agree.
Want to make a difference in your community but not sure how? Go to GoFundMe.com right now and start a GoFundMe. Seriously. Your next fundraiser doesn't have to start in a school parking lot or a church basement. You can start a GoFundMe today in just minutes. Fundraise for yourself, a friend or family member, or an organization. All that matters is that you care about them. GoFundMe is the trusted place to fundraise for what you care about. With no pressure to hit your fundraising goal, but tons of tools to help you reach it, you can confidently start fundraising right now. Whether it's creative, local, or critical, your cause matters. And there's a reason why GoFundMe is backed by millions and chosen by fundraisers everywhere. It works, and it matters. GoFundMe helps you make a real difference. Start your GoFundMe today at GoFundMe.com. That's GoFundMe.com. GoFundMe.com. This is a commercial message brought to you by GoFundMe.
Okay, this one I gave more options because you'll understand why. Like, I needed to give the people options here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it is actually tied. Even though I gave way more options, people only voted for 2 of them. So it's so...
Whoa. So
yeah.
that third one, fuck that third one.
Well, yeah, I did 5 options.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So this next category, Best 2025 Episode Title. Which, do you want to give us, before I talk about the nominees, do you want to kind of tell us, how do you choose these titles? I know you just said like Dude Pirate Vibes, that one just kind of came to you. This isn't something you think about beforehand, clearly. Like you listen, you edit the episode, and then you come up with the title?
Most of the time, unless it's one I'm really inspired by. I think maybe a couple times I would have an episode title. There was one very recently, but a lot of times I'm thinking just like, what is something that's kind of an over dramatic? We've talked about this before when we had, and that's why we drink on. I feel like because I don't like to repeat myself, I give different answers every time I get the question, which maybe doesn't always streamline my pitch with every guest appearance.
Yeah.
But when we were on, and that's why we drink, I had said that we are kind of like Tiny Toons a little bit, to where like we both kind of come on and talk a little bit before we present our cartoon.
Yeah.
And in the way that I love Tiny Toons because there was always parody. Everything was a parody. I didn't realize it at the time because I loved all the episodes of it. But then when I go back and I look, I'm like, oh, that was a Twilight Zone parody. Oh, that was that. And in the episodes, they even say it out loud because they're in like film school. Tiny Toons University or whatever is a film school because they kind of are making fun of, you know, that trope where they do reboots and then the old people become the teachers sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And Bugs Bunny is a teacher. But
I forgot about all this.
yeah, so it's like a very 90s thing where it's just like everything's parody because they had the best Halloween specials.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going far into that. But one thing I like about them is they always just made these really funny, like dramatic old Hollywood titles to a lot of their episodes, especially their Halloween ones. Like instead of the Telltale Heart, which I did a parody of, they had an episode that was the Telltale Vacuum. And
Okay.
Plucky Duck and Hampton were roommates, and Hampton got the fanciest vacuum cleaner that was the nicest one in the land, and it had all the attachments, but it kept interrupting Plucky Duck's TV show. So he eventually broke it and put it under the floorboards. But then he kept hearing the vacuum in his head ringing and ringing. But then it had a really bizarre 90s kid ending where when Hampton found out that Plucky had lied about it, I guess the funny Tiny Toons Edgar Allan Poe ending that they chose was because he broke the vacuum, he had to be the vacuum. So Hampton put the attachments onto him and grabbed him by the feet and made him suck the dirt off the ground while moving him around at the end of it.
Damn.
And I just love that quirky, weird stuff that it's based off of something else, kind of. And that's just always been my vibe, and I've loved that. It's also making fun of it too and paying homage. So I like the old Hollywood titles. I like things that are idioms, puns, or parodies of titles of things that we already like, especially if it's a dramatic movie title that we're already familiar with.
Yeah.
Or I will do the normal thing that a lot of shows do where I just name it after one funny line in it, which I love to do that. I'm just not always in love enough with one of our lines to do that. So I do when I can.
Yeah. Sometimes our improv is better than other days, right?
Yeah. It was the last one we did where we didn't tell stories. I just said, we're going to call the episode this. And I just already had an idea because it was going to be something different. So sometimes, but that's very rare.
Okay. Well, thank you for giving us the background because I was genuinely curious as well.
Yeah. Short answer, really long.
That's okay. Well, here are the nominees for Best 2025 Episode Title. Episode 193, The Erection Connection, which... Now, looking back at that, shouldn't there have been some naked people in that?
You would think.
You would think so. I'm going to have to go back and listen. It could have just been
maybe the characters mentioned having a boner or something.
Oh, maybe. Weird. Okay. On to the next one. Episode 198, Weird Women on the Loose. I told you that earlier. I love that title.
Oh, yeah. That was the Weird Joanna one. Mm-hmm.
The next nominee, Episode 201, The Magical World of Divorce. I thought that one was really sarcastic and great.
Emily was looking over my shoulder as I was editing stuff, and she's like, and why are you naming your episodes about how much you like divorce? She likes to play that wife role sometimes.
How dare she? The next nominee is episode 208, ADHD's Nuts. How could that not be on there?
Oh, that was one. I named that one ahead of time. I had said to myself, I'm putting balls in my story while doing ADHD's Nuts, so at least myself, I can have the connection in the title.
Yes.
But then you had a nude person, and I was like, thank you for I'm so glad that we just happened to be on the same vibe.
It made it easy.
But I was already going to call that one that, for sure.
Okay, that's a good behind the scenes.
But I was really excited to tell people about my ADHD diagnosis. So
I know.
No better way to tell you.
D's Nuts. And then the final nominee, episode 218, A Backdrop of Bros. I just thought that was so funny. But like I said, this is a tie between two. They are the only two that got votes, and I can see where all of our patrons' heads are far in the gutters.
Erection Connection.
Because Erection Connection and ADHD's Nuts are tied for the win. And that just only makes me more certain that we need more nudity in the upcoming year.
I'm glad that you guys are our people when it comes to that body humor, because I feel like people don't find it as funny, and maybe they think you're weird if you do too much of it. So
yeah,
I'm glad we found each other.
Yes. Thank you guys for supporting us.
The Erection Connection was the one right before my birthday. That was a Florida February episode.
Oh.
Story was, yours was the story about the villages. So the guy had the erection, I think, because there was a hot young girl walking by the pool.
Yep. He got arrested for selling off-brand Viagra or whatever.
And then mine was about the cop who was looking at porn and then rear-ended the person. So I think I may have said something about a boner somewhere in there because he was... And that one, I wanted to talk about that one anyway because I think part one, you had said something about in the naked...
Best
in the
naked criminal
category, you had talked about how you like talking about the juicy, plump apples and stuff. And that episode was a big one for me because I talked about tomatoes or something that were the shape of a big butt. And
yes.
That's just us having fun.
You were in the produce section at the beginning. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think I did say something about having a boner in the produce section or something. So yeah. So we did talk about boners, but not nude crimes. Although mine did have nudity involved.
Right. They both kind of did, but yeah, not fully. Okay, that answered my question. Our next category was actually suggested by a listener, Tawny M. Thank you so much, Tawny, for giving us this because...
Feed Tawny.
Feed Tawny! We love getting feedback from our listeners because, like, hello. So this next category is called the Parenting Petties. I pulled out just a few of my ridiculous parenting dilemmas, basically, that I talked about over the years. And it looks like we're a little bit divided between the answers, but we have a clear winner.
There is definitely a good amount of parenting stuff for anybody who's a parent, but also not too much to alienate people who aren't.
Absolutely. Well said. So the first nominee, Amanda, forced to participate in daughter's new big kid karate class because she was nervous to be alone. That is from episode 192, Flippin' Shit.
I mean, that one, just hearing about it again makes me nervous to think about.
I know. My butthole is clenched as we speak.
I think I heard it from over here.
Yeah. Nominee number 2. Amanda witnessed a small student getting shoved off the bleachers by a bigger dancing kid at her daughter's music performance.
Holy shit, that was 20.
Yeah, that's from episode Dude Pirate Vibes. And then the third and final one, Amanda is terrified to let her excited daughter ride the bus to school from episode... Oh, I didn't even say the episode number, but it's from My Conscious Made Me Do It.
I guess it depends on whether they... Because I think the third one was a really touching, great parental one, and I think it ended up being really good for you learning a lesson. I think that was great. But if they're looking for humor...
They are, because that one was the only one who got 0%.
Okay, people aren't looking for touching. I'm
They're
saying
not.
it's A.
They're not.
Or the first one.
And with 67% of the votes is when I was forced to participate in my daughter's class. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. I was not dressed for the occasion.
Mm-mm.
My big old boobs were flopping around out there on the mat. It was just very embarrassing, but it was a humbling experience and it helped my daughter in the end. And she ended up making it through her big kid class. She actually went up to another level of big kid class by now.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good life lesson, but very embarrassing. The things that we have to do for these kids sometimes.
I think for me, it would have just been the stage fright of it all more than anything. I mean, I know it's not much of a stage, but it's like the worst thing I want to be is not only the center of attention, but like having to be the center of attention in only a physical way. Like, if you're going to put me on a stage, at least let me be in front of a microphone because I can distract you with fun words. But if you have to be out here trying to do karate in front of people, ugh.
Yeah, and the way that it's set up, it's just like bleachers and chairs full of parents watching the mat. So everyone was watching. It was really bad, you guys.
Yeah, nightmare.
Oh my God. So thank you again, Tawny. That was a fun suggestion that I was not going to include, but I'm glad that we had that.
That is fun, yeah. I think about that a lot when I'm trying to think of like hashtags or like for like videos, like what angle to put some of our little clips together. And it's like, yeah, we got the parenting clips. I try to make sure we make clips just for parents sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. You're not alone out there, you guys.
We love the moms. We don't want you to feel alone.
Yes. This was a really fun one. So Trevin and I both love a theme. We love a holiday. We try to cover all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it only made sense that we had a category for Best 2025 Holiday Episode.
Hey.
Now, when I put these out, the Christmas special had not yet aired. So
understand.
It's not on here. But our first nominee, episode 195, No Luck's Given, we did a St. Patrick's Day one.
That's rare.
Isn't
That's so
that
rare.
weird?
Maybe the only one we've probably done.
I think so. Episode 199, Lord of the Green, Conveyance of the Cannabis. That is, of course, our 420 episode that we do every year.
That's one that I feel especially proud of, but it's one of those things as an artist, you put a lot of work into things that sometimes aren't people's favorites, and then you don't put a lot into other ones that are. That's one where I was just like, I put so much work into Lord of the Rings lore, and not one person's given me a pat on the
my God.
Lord of the Rings
wish
back.
I could. I wish I could. I'm just not a Lord of the Rings girly.
I get it. It's just such a part of my middle school.
To make you feel better, that was the one with the second highest votes, if that makes you feel any better.
420 is just a fun holiday to
It's
celebrate
a fun
too,
20.
though.
It's a fun 20.
What time is it? Fun 20?
Fun 20 o'clock? My God. Okay, episode 207, America is Burning. That was our 4th of July episode.
That one, okay.
That one was very anti-patriotic.
If that one wins, I understand.
The next one, episode 219, Deep in the Bowels of Halloween. Halloween ones, I'm sorry. I'm biased. That is my favorite holiday. I always think we knock those out of the park.
Yeah, and even though I was going through a lot of stuff, I was still really happy to put that Halloween story out.
Absolutely. And then our final one, episode 223, 2 turkeys, share a Thanksgiving meal. That was our Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, the one with no dramatics.
Yeah, people did not like that one. So, okay. But the winner with 73% of the votes is episode 219, Deep in the Bowels of Halloween.
Bowels. Hey, I get it. Halloween's always everybody's favorite. We put the most into them. It was sneaky that the 4th of July episode was actually a good holiday episode when generally we tell each other we don't even have to talk about it. We can just do a summer crime. It doesn't have to be 4th of July. Like, generally we don't care. But because I had came across that story, which I almost made my favorite story of the year, just because of how I felt about 2025. Like, one of my storylines of 2025 was that I found my voice of protest this year, and I've said more, and I'm being more outspoken and trying to make changes. I mean, 2025 started with Dry January, where I took that huge swing with the masculinity episode.
Oh my God.
And I'm still dealing with
the aftermath
of that. But I think one important thing of that was that I think part of me knew that 2025 was going to hit like a ton of bricks too.
Yeah.
And kind of like when, just like when I lost Mabel, I tried to offset it with something else. It's like I knew what 25 was bringing, and I'm like, I'll throw a swing at masculinity real quick because I sure didn't win the war.
Yeah.
I just got one quick punch in.
You got a punch in though.
But I almost made that my story of the year just because that was such a good use of like everything I was feeling with the world.
Yeah.
And this girl going out burning American flags on the 4th of July time during 2025. It was perfect. It helped me expose that part of myself more openly, which probably made some people stop listening and probably made others listen more closely. And
yeah.
Thank you all for being here and letting me be more of myself.
Yeah. Fucking preach.
Love that story. Go back to it if you like.
It is a good one. It is a good one. But yeah, we really did a lot of holiday episodes last year. Quite a few. But yeah, I'm biased. I love Halloween. I love it. It's my favorite one we do every year. So I'm glad everyone agrees. This category comes in a good timely fashion because we're about to come back to this again this year.
Oh.
Favorite 2025 Florida February criminal.
Oof, which before you even read this, guys, if you're excited for it and you got a good suggestion, send them as soon as you hear this because we're getting organized and ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
I already added one of my 4 and I have a second one maybe. So
okay, yes.
Spots are filling up. And same with more listener stories. We have one that I think is a good one. We need at least another.
Yes, please send them in. So I put every single one we did in the month of February, and this was our first time ever doing this, was just in 2025.
I almost thought we wouldn't do it every year. And then once we came to the end of 25, I was like, I think we need to look forward to that. I think we can do that. It's a challenge, but I like the challenge.
It is a challenge.
The show's a challenge every week.
Yeah. The first nominee, Nicholas Jones, 19-year-old, calls 911 to brag about fleeing from the cops before being captured. Classic.
That may have even been my first one for 4th of February.
Yeah, I think it was.
That was a good one. Ooh, and we had real audio on that one too.
Oh, that's right.
Little punk ass. Hey, I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like,
what do we pay taxes for?
Yeah. What a shithead. Nominee number 2, Dylan Shane Webb, 23-year-old offensive I eat ass bumper sticker. I think that was my first one.
Oh, I do want to bring this up real quick. Somebody commented on one of our videos for that one. I don't know if it was somebody trolling us or maybe it was like the guy himself. I don't know, conspiracy theorist. But somebody commented to the video that we put. It's either on TikTok or Reels. I don't remember. And they said, oh, he's a really sexy guy. I would totally eat his ass and love it. Or I would totally let him eat my ass or something like that. Strange comment.
What?
For being a show that doesn't get comments, to have one loner come in and just say, like, I'd love to him eat my butt. It's just, I don't know. If anybody wants to be a sleuth on that, or if just a weirdo.
Shooketh.
So I wanted to share that with you. That wasn't too long ago. I saw that.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with us all.
For shakething you.
The next nominee, Nicole Ann Reed, 30-year-old, steals 7 lobster tails from Publix and hides them in her pants.
To trade for drugs.
Yep, that's exactly right. The next one, Myra S. Mays, 22-year-old, attacks employees and damages property at Walmart after being caught shoplifting. I mean...
That was a fun one where the story starts with the crime and then it's all just aftermath from there.
Yeah, that's right. And also, she did not do herself any favors.
Mm-mm.
The next nominee, an unnamed Florida Everglades captain, capsizes boat in gator-infested waters while driving without a proper license.
Gator Dan? Gator Gary?
What did I end up? It wasn't Dan, because I had a Dippin' Dan.
Dippin' Dan, so Gator
character.
Gary probably.
Yeah, I think it was Gator Gary. Yeah, I had to get creative because I didn't know this guy's name at all.
Yeah.
The next nominee, Reginald Reggie Kinser, 77-year-old man from the village's retirement community, arrested for erectile dysfunction meds and drug charges. I watched an entire documentary about the villages before I wrote that story. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but worth it.
It was worth it. I needed all that information. I really got to learn the property and like what the lifestyle there is all about.
Oh my gosh, you and your parents should go undercover and see if you can take a tour.
We are staying actually kind of close. It's in between where we are staying and like Orlando, which we might drive in one day. And I even told my mom, I was like, we gotta stop by the villages.
Wear fake mustaches and pose as old people looking to maybe buy a home or get a room or something.
We can just bring Papa Dennis. He's the silver fox.
Well, I just need to get you in there too. So I guess you could be their adult child.
I'm their concerned daughter. I need to know if this place is sexy enough for my folks.
And he's got great legs, so they should be wanting him.
They will want him. Ugh. Now, the next nominee, Deputy Tristan McComber, crashes patrol car into another car while watching porn. We talked about that.
That was a great one.
Such an epic fail. And our final Florida February, Liliana Goodson, 30-year-old clown college applicant, caught with a golden gun in suitcase before flying.
That was the one that when I was looking back to see what my favorite of the year was, I could not believe that one was from 2025. That one feels so old to me.
That really does. That feels like an eternity ago, which, I mean, it is a year ago almost.
Yeah. And I've aged so much. I think we've...
Well, this one is tied, and the votes are all over the place, and there's so many of them that it is pretty spread out. The tie of the two winners is 23% of the votes for each of them, if that helps. So
that's a big split.
The first winner is Nicholas Jones, the 19-year-old who called to brag about fleeing from the cops. He called 911 to brag. And the second one is the deputy Tristan McComber crashing his patrol car while watching porn.
Those were two great all-stars for a Florida thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. When you plan for Florida February, it kind of reminds me of buying a TV at like Best Buy or something when you're going down or dating with Tinder and stuff where it just feels like everything's right next to each other. You can compare it or like every TV's next to each other and you think like, oh, the $1,000 one is the one I need because it makes this $800 one look like shit. And it's like, that's so stupid. It's just because comparison. I mean, I'm going through this again now. When doing research for Florida February, everything is so ridiculous that it's like everything is worthy, you know? And in so many ways, everything's ridiculous. But then you also just have to find one that's going to make a good story too.
I know.
So it's an interesting problem to have, like trying to sift through all the Florida headlines.
And these are both a traditional Florida man. So,
True.
I mean, classic.
Although he was a Florida boy, the one called him.
Ooh. Yeah, he's only 19. You ain't a man yet.
Mm-mm.
So I know I just said that was our last one, but I do have a final award to give out.
Huh?
Yes. So I'm going to give a brief little impromptu speech before I hand out this award, but I basically just wanted to say thank you to Trevin for remaining by my side for all these fucking years, putting up with my cackles, putting up with my disorganization. I mean, you've been with me, and the show has been with me through so many crazy highs and lows throughout life. I mean,
a pregnancy.
I was pregnant with Winnie the entire, you guys were there with me the entire pregnancy and afterwards, getting my first cat, and just like giving me this beautiful creative outlet and like a break from mom life and building this with you has been so beyond special. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thanks.
And
thank you.
I got you this trophy for the best podcast co-host, going to Trevin Barty. I even added some bling bling to it.
Ooh,
and this is for you. And I just wanted to give you your due. And not only do you write the stories and everything, but you keep all of us organized. You produce the entire show. The amount of your time and creativity that goes into it, it doesn't go unnoticed to me. And I just want to tell you that I love you and thank you so much.
Well, I love you too. And thank you for being here with me. And I think a lot of times with myself creatively, we both need to express ourselves. You and I have always been that way. And I don't think it was until like way later in our friendship where I was like, oh, wait, we both have this need. Why can't we just find a way to do that and keep with each other? Because I have the hardest time, or at least I thought I had the hardest time working with other people.
Yeah.
I thought I couldn't collaborate. And it was because, of being ADHD and having a little bit of issues with people not pulling their weight.
Yeah.
But also like when people just aren't as excited about something as you, or when somebody just wants to make it not about the project, it's about something else. And you don't really realize that. I think as a creator or a musician, for me, being in bands and all these different things, podcasts, you learn that like sometimes just because you both want to make the same thing, whether it be music or a podcast, sometimes your reasons behind wanting to do it aren't the same.
Yeah.
And it hit me a couple times in my early years of being a creator. And I just said, I can't collaborate with people. For a long time, I thought it was because people can't work with me. I thought it's a me problem, which to a certain degree, I was being irritable and sensitive to things. But I realized it was a communication problem. And this show has been me growing and learning all these different things. But
absolutely,
you were the only person who in that time I would have been like, I could do that with you, because I had that band and I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I was going to go back to solo music, but I never could get past it.
Yeah.
And instead, I thought it would be easier to do a group project with you of something I had hardly ever really done before, speak and write stories.
No, I know. Like, what were we actually thinking? I don't know, but I'm grateful for it.
I am too. The expression is so needed. It's like I have some other projects that I want to do in 26, and I'll talk about them later. But one of the things that some people say is like, you want to like take a little time away from the show, or you pause it for a bit or something. And I'm like, I'm not worn out by the writing.
Yeah.
I have fun with every story I do, and every single one inspires a different thing in me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worn out with keeping up with it while keeping up with a job. I mean,
I know.
It's the capitalism squeeze. It's the hardest thing of it. It's not that the show wears me out.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works. Like, even if you're doing a show for free, essentially, money still is a factor, because I still have to go make it somewhere else to find the time to make this. And it's really frustrating that it has to be that way, because it does fill my cup. And it's like, what happens when I'm so busy that I can't get it out to you people? I feel guilty about it, but I also don't get to fill my cup either. Like,
I know.
We all lose.
It's a lose, lose, lose.
So yes, I appreciate you being my consistent rock for this time, because I needed the consistency of somebody being there so that I could get confidence in myself. And I know that there's a lot of skills I've grown over the last like 5 years that I'm totally not the same person. And I would have said 5 years before that time that I wasn't the same person then.
Right.
Leaps and bounds. I mean, this show grew me a ton, and it's all because of the security of having you as my creative partner.
Oh, thank you. I know I could do better. I'm still trying to balance everything in my life, but I'm just glad we got to create this together, and it's still going. So wild.
And we keep finding ways to make the show evolves to us.
Yeah.
We don't get stuck in one direction. It's like whatever our life's doing, the show can now take that on too, and people will enjoy it because this is the real us, or they can just like that one era, whatever.
Yeah. It's the Eras tour.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the awards, but you guys, we still have to listen to my favorite story in 2025. This was a really tough one for me. I thought about maybe doing my Coldplay cheating story, just because that was like such a...
That was 25.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's not Knockers. No, Knockers was
from a few years back, I think.
Knockers was 20. Oh, that was a celebrity story. Who's celebrity?
Justin Timberlake? Was it that one?
Oh, it was the Justin Timberlake and Madonna.
That's what it was. Yes.
I'm getting celebrity thrown off.
Okay. Yes.
That was not your first celebrity. You've done multiple now.
I want to do more in the future. I want to do more trending celeb ones. I feel like that kind of intimidated me. Mm-hmm. But now that I've done it a couple times and it's like viral ones that people know all about, it's a little intimidating. You feel like you have to get every exact detail right, which I don't really feel that pressure a lot of time with our show. But with those, I do. But I definitely want to do more of those this year, too. But I was torn. I was torn between quite a few of them. My story comes from episode 215, My Conscience Made Me Do It. It is my Chuck Entertainment Cheese story. The reason I decided to go with this for a couple reasons. Similar to you, I like making you be very absurd characters, and this voice that you did in this one might be my favorite of the whole year. Also, it was just a totally different genre for me. Like, I really dived deep into like villain origin stories and what makes a villain, and I was in my Spider-Man era with the Green Goblin. And
yeah, looking back at the way you wrote it and everything, I was feeling the vibe you were putting out and your style, because of course you're not a person who does a lot of hero stuff.
Yeah,
you don't go as like crazy in it as I do. It felt very old Batman, like old kind of old comic book. I was like imagining an old flip comic book of like a scary like Chuck E. Cheese villain. And that's the music I picked. I remembered thinking was so perfect because I think it was like a children's song, but it was like at a minor key or something. I can't remember what it was under, but it's like bump, 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 bump. It almost had like this, I don't know if it was like a circusy sort of a feel to it, but it just made me think of like a real big mob boss walking in with the big steps, just walking in. And
oh my God.
As I found that song and was putting it together to your words, everything was just matching perfectly.
Well, let's listen to it, Trevin.
Yes. Here we go.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Regardless of how heartless your chest is, or how cold your blood runs, everyone has a favorite children's mascot. Purists prefer a classic Mickey Mouse, yet others appreciate the magic and sassiness of Tinkerbell, or the simple and warm greeting from the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah.
We adore these characters that inspire and entertain us. Yet when was the last time you considered your fictional friends' feelings? Hello Kitty might want to say goodbye. Dora the Explorer might feel like lounging on her sofa. And Tony the Tiger might not think Frosted Flakes are all that great.
They're gross.
Today's story is about a nostalgic, yet current, children's mascot. One that reflects the character and the man behind the mask. While many know him by his full name, few gave him the respect he craved. This is the villain origin story of Chuck E. Cheese. "41-year-old Jermell Jones awoke to a hot summer day in Tallahassee, Florida during 2025. He was an average man who wasn't fond of small talk or a normal 9-to-5 career. Jermell hustled each day by taking on odd jobs with minimal responsibility and the minimum wage. He walked about 15 dogs a day and sold snow cones out of the back of his car. But profits were dissolving, just like the melted shaved ice dripping down into his scorching trunk. Jermell needed another job, and quick. That is why, when he saw the job listing at Chuck E. Cheese's, he jumped at the chance. Jermell arrived at the interview on time and dressed to impress. Walking towards the front doors of the family entertainment chain, he was expecting to be grilled with hard-hitting questions and a full background check. Yet once he stepped inside, chaos surrounded him. Screaming children whirled around the large building as arcade games beeped, buzzed, and booped. Standing there, in the middle of all the pandemonium, was a frazzled store manager carrying 2 large pizzas, a broom, and the weight of the world on her shoulders. Jermell approached her with caution before introducing himself.
Hi, I'm Jermell. I'm here for my interview.
Oh, cheese and mice! I am all tied up right now. When can you start? Tonight by chance? 2 of our main players no-called no-showed this evening, even though it specifically stated to call and to show on their job descriptions. How do you feel about being the star of the show? Mr. Chuck E. Cheese himself. You look like you're just the right height. The manager spewed the words out faster than a kid with the zoomies.
Yeah, I could give it a try. So I would just wear the rat costume around the restaurant?
Oh, heavens! We haven't called Chuck a rat since 1993 when corporate told us to start calling him a mouse, and they gave his costume a serious facelift. The manager looked personally offended by his mistake.
My apologies. What would I do in the mouse outfit?
Jermell rephrased his question with the correct species in place. It's a cheese breeze. Just remember to wave and walk with pep. Follow me to the back where we keep the costumes. He followed the stressed woman as she dropped off the mop and pizzas in her hands before guiding him to the employee break rooms in the back. She opened the heavy doors, and they stepped inside the cool and quiet room where she pointed toward the costume in question. The mouse rocked trendy red Chuck sneakers, stretchy denim jeans, a bold purple and green sweater with a yellow C in the middle. Of course, the look wasn't complete without the fuzzy hands and the large friendly face of Chuck E. Cheese. The head smiled back at Jermell, immediately drawing him into the mouse's intense gaze. He locked eyes with the creature, creating a magnetic trance he couldn't break free of. Suddenly, he heard a hypnotic and evil voice coming from the mascot's head.
Yes. I've been waiting for a new prey to enter my mousetrap. We can achieve great things together, you and I, Jermell. Come closer, my newest host.
Jermell's gaze was unbreakable as he slowly and robotically approached the maniacal mouse. Everything else faded around them, both forgetting that the manager was still in the room. She was unable to hear them, yet she watched the entire awkward introduction. Okay. Well, I'll leave you to it. Just put on the costume and I'll see you out there. Bye! Jermell followed orders and put on the warm and heavy mascot outfit. He slipped the mouse's head over his own as the smell of mildew and stale pizza filled his nostrils. Just as the head screwed on, Jermell lost complete control of his mind, body, and soul. He was no longer Jermell Jones. He had an ornery and anxious energy coursing through his veins, and a keen sense of smell for dairy. He had become Chuck, entertainment, cheese. Chuck stomped out into the main floor, filled with loud kids, corny music, and helicopter parents.
That ball pit's not sanitary!
He waved at the children and walked with loads of pep, but behind the mask was a sinister attitude. Amid his normal mousy behavior, Chuck tripped kids who ran too close to him. He whistled at all the MILFs and eventually succumbed to his insatiable desire for larceny. As an overwhelmed mother struggled to feed all the children pizza at her son's birthday party,
Eat your damn pizza!
Chuck used his grubby, fuzzy fingers to snag the woman's credit card off of the messy table and hid it inside of his mouse pouch. Finally, his shift had come to an end. Jermel struggled to remove his costume as it stuck to him like glue. He pulled, punched, and shimmied his way out of the mischievous mascot, leaving him feeling naked and afraid. Even with the costume off, Jermel still felt the deep and dark connection to Chuck. It was as if the mouse was a part of him now, burrowed permanently into the depths of his mind. He left the family establishment in a huff, got in his car, and took off down the road in a hurry. Jermel whipped his vehicle into the parking lot of a local smoke shop to get something to take the edge off. Only, once inside, he realized he didn't have enough money to pay. That is when an eerie and familiar voice came back into his subconscious.
Oh, Jermel, you forgot so quickly. Don't you remember the great things we've achieved together? Check your pocket. I think you'll find the solution to all your problems.
Jermel reached down into his pant pocket to discover the stolen credit card he took from the birthday boy's mom.
That's it. You're a smart little pet. Now spin to your heart's desire.
Almost a month went by, with Jermel and Chuck intertwined as one evil character. Each time he clocked in and donned the mouse mask, the wickedness spread and became more all-consuming. He returned to the Chuck E. Cheese's one Wednesday evening for another shifty shift. Stepping inside the sensory overload he called work, he noticed police officers standing at the hostess stand. A shiver tingled down his spine as both he and Chuck knew they might be in danger.
Hello, are you Jermel Jones?
The officer peered into his eyes like laser beams, causing Jermel to clear his throat.
Why, yes, that is me, officer. Is everything all right?
I'm gonna need you to wait right here, young man. I'm gonna run out to my cruiser to get something real quick, and I have some questions for you. And don't you even think about running off.
The officer threatened in his big boy voice before exiting the front doors. As soon as the officer left the building, Chuck's voice boomed from inside Jermel's mind.
Come to me, my precious host, before it's too late.
Jermel ran to the break room and quickly hid inside the large mouse. Chuck E. Cheese walked back out to the busy floor, trying to blend in, when a mom and two kids approached him.
Hey, Chucky! Can we get a picture?
Yet before he could respond, the officer was back and standing behind him.
Chucky's a little bit busy, ma'am. Chucky, come with me.
The officer grabbed the mouse's arm firmly, causing Chuck to pull away.
Chucky, stop resisting! Stop resisting, Chucky!
The officer grabbed both of Chuck's arms and held them behind his back. He then placed handcuffs around his fluffy wrist as onlookers watched in horror.
These are children!
One mother shouted out at the officer.
It's not my call, ma'am.
The officer responded in a calm tone as he escorted Chuck E. Cheese out of the arcade and into his police cruiser. On Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at about 7:30 p.m., Tallahassee, Florida police were dispatched to speak with a suspect of theft at Chuck E. Cheese's. An unnamed victim had reported hosting their child's birthday party at the family establishment back in June, and shortly afterwards noticed her missing credit card and $105.57 worth of fraudulent charges. The woman flagged the purchases and noted that they were made at One Smoke Shop, Whataburger, Circle K, Time Saver, and a few other shops. The determined mother then somehow obtained surveillance footage from one of the stores where charges were made. It was in the video that she recognized 41-year-old Jermel Jones, a regular employee at the local Chuck E. Cheese's. Officers approached Jermel at his workplace, telling him they needed to ask him a few questions. The officer was quoted stating,
Jones looked very nervous, with wide eyes and squared shoulders in a tense manner.
Yet, when the officer returned to his vehicle for evidence to properly ID him, Jermel quickly changed into the Chuck E. Cheese costume. Once the officer returned, he was able to confirm with another employee that Jermel was now dressed as the well-known mouse mascot. He stopped Jermel from taking photos with another woman and her kids, stating,
Chucky's a little bit busy, ma'am. Chucky, come with me.
The officer handcuffed Chuck Entertainment Cheese and escorted him outside as children, families, and birthday parties were stunned by the scene. One parent that witnessed the arrest was quoted, saying,
My kids all week were like, why did Chucky get arrested?
After a search done by law enforcement, they located receipts linked to the fraudulent charges and a small amount of marijuana. Jermel Jones was booked and released by the Leon County Jail Thursday morning on a $1,000 bond. He was charged with theft of a credit card, criminal use of personal identification info, and fraudulent use of a credit card more than twice within 6 months. It is too recent for punishments to be determined. We all have a favorite children's mascot, but that doesn't mean they can't become petty criminals. Sometimes, the worst characters are disguised by fuzzy fur and sparkling eyes. Let Chuck E. Cheese be a lesson to us all about how easily a cute mouse can transform into a rat. Yeah, the voice that you did as the maniacal mouse sends me to my grave.
Yeah, I think that's kind of... I'm finding that our favorite ones are always ones where it's like we make the other play a funny character, but it also just happened to be viral and current. And usually you have extra something. Like you had a arrest. It was a chest camera, right?
Body cam footage. Yep. Because everything that the mom shouted, like, oh no. And like, he's like, not my call, ma'am. Like all of that was said word for word. Just hearing that back just made me smile.
I loved the music of that one.
You're right. It was like, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's like, oh my God.
You were going for like such a classic villain thing. And I thought, well, Chuck Entertainment Cheese is like this, because we've all been to Chuck E. Cheese, you know, because there's it's like all the shiny lights and he's like on the stage. And I thought, well, it's like old school entertainment, like dinner and a show sort of a vibe. And I thought, well, I want it to be sort of jazzy music, but I had to find a jazzy song that sounded minor, like a bad guy. So when I found that, the rest of the songs around it, I just had to make sure I found like these old entertainment kind of jazzy numbers. And
it's beautiful.
It felt so fitting for it.
It was. Oh my God. See, even just hearing it back, I forgot about so many little details that like he actually stole from a mom, from a birthday party. And then it was the mom who almost did her own investigation like found the surveillance footage and then turned that over to the authorities. She basically did their job for them.
Yeah, and you had said that there's a chance that that may not have actually been his position at Chuck E. Cheese was to be the mouse. He may have just put it on to try to escape or hide.
And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I do believe that's what it was, because the woman who got her credit card stolen recognized him.
Right.
And how would she recognize him if he's always in the mouse costume, right? So
yeah, unless she's like, yeah, he did look like a mouse. As a matter of fact, I think I'm at his house.
No, literally.
Why you got all these arcade games, Mr. Mouse?
Like, I remember those whiskers anywhere. Like,
find another mouse that looks part human that you've ever seen anywhere else, okay? This is the guy who took it.
Oh my God. So yeah, I really don't think that was like his normal job because he was so recognized by her. But obviously, I wrote it in the way I wanted to write it, and I wanted him to be his villain origin story. And I still love that one. That is still so fun. And another Florida one.
Which, of course, they show up throughout the year, especially when we're covering things that are recent at the time.
Uh-huh. I forgot that just took place in 2025, even. Yeah. I didn't realize it was that recent.
I had it on my list when you had told it, and I'm so glad that you told it because the idea I had wasn't as big production-wise, but also I hadn't read that closely into it.
Yeah.
I thought that he had stole from somebody somewhere else, and then they just came and arrested him while he was on the job as the mouse. And I looked at that and thought, backstory's not good. I can't think of that. And I shelved it to say, like, maybe I'll look at it when I'm struggling.
Yeah, no, I'm
so glad you took it.
I'm so glad that it worked out this way because just the lines that I wrote for you and how beautifully executed that was. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, that has to be one of my favorite voices you've ever done.
One production thing about that, to go back to the music one more time.
Yeah.
That song, that was a different thing than what I normally do because I was thinking about villains, like Disney villains generally. When the Disney villain comes on the screen, usually the music changes to have like a theme or a motif that follows that person around.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, sometimes I'll change the music to match the mood if the mood is a big shift. A lot of times we just kind of have a soundtrack that plays. But this one was like, oh no, I want to set the stage at the beginning with the prologue with that theme. And then I would bring that in when Chuck E. Cheese talks. That feeling came back and it was that bit of a, like, I'm familiar with that vibe.
Yes.
And so giving a character their own theme song essentially when they talked is something I'd never done before.
Oh my God, that is a really good behind the scenes thing. And that is so true. Like a good Disney villain has a definite signature look, a signature song, a signature vibe,
Yeah, like they come in and like, ooh, something's a little eerie, or in like maybe a little violin, like, and it's like, oh, damn, this bastard's killing the vibe.
Yep. Oh my God. And I forgot that there were just different details in there. Like I forgot that he had gone to all those different places with the stolen card. So many funny things.
That's the fun thing about our show, digging deeper into these dumb headlines. It's like sometimes, I mean, yeah, sure, the headline's dumb, but like the drama around it's also dumb too, because to get to that point, somebody had to commit. And that's, to me, wilder than just, some other crimes of just passion or crimes of just like snap judgment. Like, this isn't snap judgment.
No.
That was your best way out, or you thought, was getting in that mouse costume. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. I wish there was an update. I couldn't find one on the sentencing or anything. So if anyone else can, send it our way. I would love to know exactly what his punishment was. But still too recent, even now, I guess. Well, what a wonderful look back, Trevin.
You made part 2 touching. I'm glad we made it equally as good as the first.
Yes, of course. No, I loved this. I am looking forward to making this an annual thing, and having all of our listeners participate in this way is always a good time. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed going down this memory lane with us.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think after the whirlwind year of how quick everything happened, it's fun to take a look back because, we made fun and great art during that year. And I feel like I was too busy trying to get on to the next one to actually stop and enjoy it.
Yes, to stop and smell the petty roses.
And I love your reactions to stories after they're done. This is a nice thing. Maybe we'll have to do a Patreon thing on that.
That'd be very interesting because it's a totally different vibe, obviously, when they're finished.
Yeah.
So this has been really cool listening back in this way too. Well, I hope that everybody is having the best week. And just remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed to
be my newest host.
Bye.
See ya.
If you want to vote on next year's Petties, come on over to Patreon and cast your votes.
And if you want us to maybe talk about an encounter we had together on the show, talk to us on any of our socials: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads. Live, Laugh, Larceny.
And there's still time to submit your petty crime stories for the year of 2026. Send us your stories to livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And I know I just talked about it. You know we're a 5-star show. Why don't you go over wherever you rate podcasts and give us our due? Rate our podcast wherever you rate podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods.